What's up, everybody? It is me, KillerCloud99, showing you my Sekiro Shadows Die Twice boss ranking. Timestamps will be in the description, and let's get right to this. Number 1, we have the Snake. Easiest boss in the game. I'm sure that we all know why that is. The only thing difficult about it is that it can give new players trouble when it's in the canyon and you're trying to sneak past it. Otherwise, it doesn't really hurt anybody. The only one hurting anyone is you when you kill this thing and make it rain blood all over the screen. It deserves it though, because, well, we need our visceras to swim perfectly, so. Number 2, the Mist Noble. This guy's most difficult thing is getting to him, I suppose. He really just has nothing about him. You just have to abuse him the whole time, and that's all it is. Like, his area is harder than he is as an encounter. He almost didn't make the list as a boss because he doesn't have a prayer bead. The Shinobi Hunter is the easiest, third easiest boss in the game. Even though he can be a challenge for new players, you can sneak attack him like most early bosses and take away a bar of his health instantly, and then depending on if you have the Mickery step early on, this fight can be very easy or a little bit more complicated. He has a very low posture bar, so he's easy to drain, and that's really all there is to say about him. Very easy fight. Any sword general, number 4, that's an accurate statement, because the sword generals are just not a problem. I mean, they're very simple sword fights. All you have to do is timely deflect. As you can see here, I'm fighting this guy with the red debuff in my left-hand corner that shows shows that I'm playing on hard mode, sorry. And that means that if I don't perfectly deflect, I lose health. And I'm still perfectly deflecting almost all of this guy's attacks. And the sword bosses in this game are covered by this guy, the guy in the beginning of the game, like the tutorial boss, before Genichiro, and then like 3 other sword generals throughout the main game. They're all very generic enemies that give you free prayer beads, which is very nice. And not much to say besides timely deflect and you'll be good to go. I mean, not hard. Number 5, long arm centipedes. These guys are legitimate, just deflect the whole time. That's all you gotta do, deflect. They're not hard. I saw this and I had more fun than I had trouble with this boss, to be honest. I didn't know what to do the first time I came in, and I was like, hey, maybe I should just start deflecting. And sure enough, it's the coolest deflect scene in the game that I've seen personally. It's incredible. You just get to do super fast deflects all game, or all fight. And it's really just like if you run out of posture you get killed, as you saw there with me. But otherwise, I mean, it's not a hard fight as long as you manage your posture properly. As you can see, I'm pretty new to the game still in this clip, and that's why this fight was a little bit tougher on camera for me, because I had no idea how to manage posture properly. I wasn't really paying much attention to like what attacks he was going to do. I was just deflecting because I was just more enraptured with what it, like, just the deflecting, like how it looked on screen. It was awesome. I also didn't know you could jump straight up and that attack misses you completely, so you know, the more you know. But yeah, the long arm centipede bosses have very, very low health, and they are very easy to deal with as long as you can deflect properly. I came back to him later in the game and one-shot him with no problem. I don't even think he laid a scratch on me, and that was a New Game Plus. So, very easy bosses. I would recommend doing them early for the free prayer beads. There is one more in Senpo Temple, and that one is a little bit harder because he has ads, but like, it's not hard enough to make a difference in the ranking, so there you go.
Wow.
Number 6 is the Chained Ogre. As you can see, I have some background commentary going on here. Only reason he even got placed this high is because I took into account how it is for a new player going up against the Chained Ogre, and I couldn't bring myself to place him any higher than this. For a boss that is intimidating, he is not difficult at all. As a matter of fact, he's literally just a dodge and Like, it's an endurance check for early game players. Like, can you do the mechanics that they've showed you thus far? Do you know how to dodge an undodgeable attack? Or an unblockable attack, sorry. Like the one where you see that red mark come up, that's an unblockable attack. And can you dodge it? Yes. I can, as you can see in this clip. This is on New Game Plus. As you can see, I don't have any of my revives yet or anything because I haven't died yet. This New Game Plus playthrough was very easy. I finished it in like 4 hours, so... I took into account, like I said, how it was for me as a new player fighting this boss, and it just wasn't that much of a challenge. It took me 2 or 3 tries and I was done with it. Number 7 is the Ashina Elites. For this clip, I will be using my world first footage.
Nope.
As you can see, I'm going to have a little bit of background commentary, but not too much, so I shouldn't be talking over myself too much. Basically, the name of the game with these guys, because like they got placed low for a reason, right? That's what you're probably thinking to yourself, because some of you probably had issues with these bosses. They were killing you all the time. It's not that they're not hard, it's that once you figure out how to beat them, they're easy. Like, for players who don't know how to approach them, yes, they're very difficult. I fully understand that. But like, once you know how to perfectly deflect their double slash every time, like this, every time, you will beat these bosses in like 30 seconds. No problem. This was me, once again, still in my first playthrough, still learning the game relatively. This was in like the last quarter of the game-ish, before I got to the really tough bosses that made me understand how good I can be at the game, truly. So like, I still was kind of a noob here, not gonna lie. And I still got the world first on it, so that says something, I suppose. But yeah, the first version of this guy without the red eyes is even easier than this. I think to beat him, you just gotta do the same thing except less times. But the red-eyed one, I would suggest, because he insta-kills you if you get caught, just doing the deflect strategy instead of the circle right with the dodges. However, there are other strategies like using the umbrella to block and like pressure him, and then that's another way to do it if you want to play it extremely safe. I felt comfortable with my deflect timings and was able to do this without much issue, as you can see here in this last like 2 chains of perfect time deflects. One more and he's done. Yep, there it is. Number 7 boss right there. Pretty easy stuff. Number 8, the Divine Dragon. For this boss, he's difficult until you learn what to do. When you know that you just gotta jump up there and jump and press R1 and it auto aims and everything for you, this fight becomes extremely easy. When you try to fight him with your sword like I did, to no avail of course, he's a difficult fight. He has some combos in this specific part of the fight that you need to worry about, but I'll mention those when we get to them. The only way to drain his health is through the lightning deflections, which you just gotta wait a certain amount of time before the last 3 trees come up. So we'll just be talking here until that point comes up. But the first phase of this fight, I quote phase because it wasn't really a phase, it was just a bunch of ads, is not even a boss for me. So that's how easy that was. That combo that you just saw on screen that could have killed me there had I not deflected is the specific combo that is extremely dangerous. And you should be ready for that because that's the move he does before he brings out the 3 trees. So that'll be the tell. When he does that combo, you'll know the trees are coming out. After that, hit him with the last bolt of lightning, run up his spirit sword that he holds in his hand, which is resting his head on, and then use the mortal blade to drain the tear, and the fight's over. And you don't even kill him after all that work, but I suppose your character can be merciful after all. Overall, the best cinematic fight in the game without a question. Otherwise, not very difficult, unfortunately. They could have done a little bit more, but I thought it was fun.
He is easy, though.
Number 9, I'm going to let the audio play out on, because I don't have much to say about this boss.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Fucking... That's what I thought. Yeah, take it easy. Alright? Gyobu Oniwa. I will take your head, and you will accept that.
Name of the game with him, as you can see in the footage, is just stay near him, deflect, and attack when you get an opening.
Oh, I didn't have my block up ready for that. You're not doing nothing. No, you are not doing anything, I promise. I think this is a fight I need to add as well. To the boss fights that I have on YouTube, so I need to clip this.
There it is. Done. Boss fight.
God,
Number 9, easy.
Harder.
Number 10, any spear general. This guy got this high of a spot because in theory where I'm at now in ability, this could go right after the sword generals and it wouldn't make a difference to me, but on my first playthrough, this man specifically gave me about 20 attempts worth of trouble and was super difficult. So out of respect for that, I put him at number 10 because he is he's like, number 10's the spot of like almost halfway through the list where it starts getting mid-tier difficulty but like not quite. And that's where he belongs. He can be very difficult or he can be very easy. If you have the Mikri counter, which I do, I suggest letting yourself get hit by that first attack, doing it on the second attack, getting ready for a third attack if he follows up with it, blocking that, and then you get like 3 seconds to just swing on him. Otherwise, if you sidestep that swing right here, and then he misses you like that, you get free openings. I mean, the boss mechanics aren't very hard, it's just that as a new player, with low health, he's a one-shot kill, and it was very difficult to get through, but overall not a hard fight. Number 11, another fight that I personally don't think is hard, but a lot of people have had trouble with, is the Drunkard fight. The Drunkard is found in Harada Estate. This is not him, this is the Glutton, who is found in the Hidden Woods. The reason that I use this fight is because this is probably the easier of the two, which is ironic for a boss ranking based on difficulty, but the reason behind that is to get a more full view of the fight. I use the easier of the two so that you got more direct footage, because the other fight in Harada Estate, which is where this boss gets its ranking from, has ads that you need to deal with, and it becomes a long, like 7-minute fight just from kiting the ads, moving the boss, etc. So I use this fight to show like all the movesets and everything of the main boss. And everyone knows who Drunkard is, so I don't have any fear of confusion, especially since, like, just by looking at this boss, they're the same looking, same moving, same affliction-inducing enemy, just different name. Overall, I'd say that the thing to watch out for is that unblockable rush attack where he puts his fist out and charges you because he swings his sword, and that does a lot of damage. But like this right here, sometimes he doesn't swing his sword, but other times he does. Does about 80% damage. Otherwise, block, deflect perfectly when you get a chance. Otherwise, the fight's pretty simple. I mean, you just swing on him, drain his posture, swing on him, deflect, drain his posture. Wait for him to do that unblockable attack, step out of the way of it, and then kill him. I know it's easier said than done though, so I'm not going to say like it's an easy thing to do, but once you get practice, it's easy. Number 12, the Convoluted Monkeys, also known as the Folding Screen Monkeys. These guys are here not because they're difficult, they're here because they are confusing and annoying because they take forever to do. First of all, you have to chase. I'll just go through the strategy for the boss right now. Orange monkey dies first, then purple, then green, then white, ideally. The reasoning is orange monkey lets the other two know where you are. White's invisible, so you don't want to be chasing him around because you can't see him. Green runs around as soon as he hears you, so you might as well just go kill purple first. Purple, all you have to do is lure him into the dark room right in front of me right there. And then you could jump down and kill him, no problem. Green, this is the strategy to beat green right here. Wait for him to get up on this ledge right in front of the bell, and then ring the bell. As soon as you ring the bell, it's going to deafen him like a shotgun just went off next to his face, and then you're going to be able to grapple up next to him and literally stab him and fillet him, as should be for this fight that took me 30 minutes on my second run through because of the fucking white monkey who stayed invisible. Number 13. Snake-eyed fellows. Yes, these guys, I'm sure there will be some debate as to where they should go. These guys cannot be placed any higher than this. And that is funny because I would say, based on this footage, it looks like they should be placed lower than this. That's just not a fact. The reasoning is because while this attempt was near perfect with me only getting hit by a kick at the end of the fight, the rest of the times I've fought these guys on New Game Plus, I have wanted to hang myself because they are so difficult with their grab attacks that you just can't, it's tough. Because like if you jump out of the way of them, they grab you out of midair. If you dodge out of the way, they catch you half the time. It's just, you know, this is the way the fight should be done. Use Sabumaru, poison him, it drains half his posture. This is the cheese way to do it. Drains half his posture, the poison prevents his posture from draining. You can do this fight really fast. Minute and 26 seconds is my PR. That's what this clip is. Not much else to say about these guys. Dodge their bullets. They have an unblockable bullet that does damage to you if you block it. Dodge that. Otherwise, easy fight for the most part. Number 14. The Shish Kebab Warriors, also known as the Shikamen Warriors. These guys, they should be fought late game, because if you fight them early game, you might as well put them at the top of the list for the hardest boss. There is no chance that you are going to be able to fight these guys with the terror affliction that they induce, unless you have the proper pacifying agents. And ideally speaking, like, I clipped this video or trimmed it down because this fight was so long since I only had one divine confetti. But if you have two divine confetti, this fight takes about 30 seconds each phase, so a minute in total. As you can see here, it's also RNG based. If he has a good like moveset that he decides to use, like this where he just swings his thing around, like whatever that is, his rod, sphere, glaive, I don't know what it is, this will take no time at all. If he decides to be annoying and teleport around, it's going to take a lot longer, with giving you a higher chance of dying because he shoots a stream of terror at you that will destroy you. But he places 14th. Right in the middle almost. Number 15, Woman Moth. I used ironic synonyms for Lady Butterfly because I felt like doing that. She doesn't belong this high up, in my opinion, but I've seen streams and I have seen other videos of people playing this game and I have seen their hardships, so as a tribute to the people who have given their time trying to beat this boss on multiple attempts, I say, here you go, she gets 15th. I one-shotted her my first playthrough, and then this is a New Game Plus playthrough, and it took me 2 attempts. The only reason is I don't even remember what I did on the first attempt that killed me, but it was something dumb. Key things with her are, first phase, just attack her relentlessly. When she actually does an attack, block it. Second phase, when she uses an illusion, as you see here, Snapseed. Don't do it the way I did, though, because I did it way too early, and that ended up spawning all of them still without me doing anything except wasting a Snapseed. When she does her red attack, like her unblockable red attack, when she's up in the air, just run a wide circle and you'll be fine. She doesn't have good tracking on it. It's very soft aimbot on it. Otherwise, pretty easy fight. Circle dodge her if you want to. You can just do the strategy I said and it should be fine. Like that right there when she comes out with that unblockable. Strafe far circle, any direction you want. When she does her start attacking her as soon as she finishes it. Just trade blows with her basically, and that'll be the fight. Very easy fight. Sorry I can't give much advice. I'm not very experienced with this fight. I think I've given it 3 attempts in total. Which is a shame, because it's a great fight. Very nicely scripted. Number 16, the Headless. This fight is extremely shortened, because the whole fight took me about 5 minutes. Key points of this fight, because there's 5 of these mini-bosses throughout the game. Avoid the sword swings, avoid the back grab that he does right there. Carry Divine Confetti, carry Pacifying Agents. Make sure that if you are going to try to deflect, you do a perfect deflect, because it won't inflict terror. If you don't perfect deflect, you get terror.
I have fought this fucking guy. He's like a regular enemy to me now.
So it's Genichiro. Yes, he gets no spot higher than number 17. He gets the higher end of the middle difficulty of the game, because I have fought this man so many times that he is easy for me, but once again, I have seen what he does to other people who aren't me, and I can't help but sympathize with the fact that he is a difficult boss, especially when he's the first major boss that you fight outside of Gyobu. The attempt I'm using right now is my New Game Plus no healing run against him, where I didn't use any heals in this fight. I only used the healing given to me by my final blows. He doesn't use his bow here, so this is the easiest version of him. When he uses his bow, that's what gives him his difficulty ranking, because I have been caught countless times that I don't want to discuss because it makes me more than angry to discuss how many times I've been killed by him. When I finish a combo or he finishes a combo and follows up with a bow shot before I can recover. Ugh. Don't want to talk about it. But yeah, this is like the sword mechanics of the fight, so I felt like this would be a good thing to show on camera. Number 18 is Orin. I still don't have this boss pinned down. I'm not going to lie to you. She can be countered halfway by throwing an oil thing, like an oil urn, from behind her, which will set her up for a backstab to drop her 1 bar health. Then you still have to take 5 minutes of fighting instead of 10 to do this phase where she can't be hit for 90% of the time and only can be hit when she chooses to attack. The big things here are make sure you savor those moves that you could drain posture on, and when I say savor them, I mean every combo that she does like this, wherever she finishes it with a spin attack, jump and land on her head, because you are going to want this to end as fast as possible. Right there, exactly like that. Number 19, the Corrupted Monks. The true Corrupted Monk got the video spot because the regular Corrupted Monk in Mibu Village is only the first phase of this fight and extremely easy compared to this. This fight, on the other hand, is a 3-phaser who has the regular attacks that, you know, the Corrupted Monk in Mibu Village does, and then it has the second phase, which is the legendary Shadow phase, where she puts you in a Genjutsu, and you can't do anything except run away or deflect, but then you'll come out with no posture, and that's not what we want. I'd say the big thing with this fight is deflect when you can, but otherwise do phase 1 and 2 to the best of your ability, and like avoid most of her swings and just run in and sneak hits in until you drain her posture, because once phase 3 starts, this fight turns into a joke. That's part of the reason why I couldn't rank this any higher, is because this is such a glaring cheese slash like gimmick phase that like this fight can't be any higher, because there's bosses that can't be beaten like this. This is what you do. Carry as many Spirit Emblems as you can, save them all, bring the Firecracker with you, spam Firecracker in 3rd phase, just swing on her every 3 or 4 hits, throw a Firecracker out. See, I messed it up here, but like it's fine because she doesn't do any damage to me. Throw the Firecracker out, and look at that. Oh, she's stunned again, isn't it beautiful? And then what do you do? Oh, another Firecracker. What the fuck is she gonna do? Not a thing. Look at that, another Firecracker. How long is this gonna go on? Oh, until I run out of Spirit Emblems? Oh, okay. Well, is the boss gonna die, or am I gonna run out of emblems first? The answer is, I killed the boss before I ran out of emblems. That's how strong the Firecracker is. Look at that. That third phase is disgusting. That's not a fair mechanic. Like, you shouldn't be able to do that. But that's why this boss gets the placement she does, because the first 2 phases are kind of brutal, especially learning the fight. But the third phase is such a joke that number 20 or number 19 is all she can get. We all knew that this fight was coming at some point. Number 20 goes to the Lone Shadow Ninja, specifically the Lone Shadow Longswordsman in the beginning of the game, in the Ashina Reservoir well, because that fight, for a new player, is the worst introduction to a game like this you could have. I almost quit the game right then and there, because, wow, that fight was brutal. And it's not even, it's literally this exact fight's movesets, except without poison, making it the easier of the two. That said, for where you encounter it in the game, it is an extremely difficult fight that took me 50 plus attempts to beat, and something that I was not a big fan of partaking in, if we're being honest. I tried to do it on stream. The 1 to 2 millisecond delay was too much delay. I had to have perfect timing to beat it. You can find that video up on my channel. I have to put my redemption one up of me absolutely washing the boss, because the video that I have up now is an absolute disgrace. It is me barely killing the boss with like 10% of my health left after using all my gourds and just being like, thank God it's over. However, because a lot of people, it sounds like there's a consensus with people I've talked to and streamers I've seen that that's the usual experience with that boss. This boss gets the last spot before the high tier bosses, which start now with the Guardian Ape. The Guardian Ape, yes. This is the first of the last 5 bosses, also known as the hardest bosses, and you may be like, well, why is Guardian Ape one of them? His first phase is not, there's no tells, there's no prediction, there's nothing. He just jumps around, and if he hits you, and if he doesn't, you're lucky. Because I don't know how I beat first phase. Both times I've done it, actually. I've just run around, and like when it looks like he stops moving, I just hope to trade 1 hit for like 2. Like, he hits me once, I hit him like a couple times, and I'm like, alright, I'm happy, let me heal, and then I'm good. Phase 2, on the other hand, becomes even more annoying because he just chases you non-stop. His least dangerous attack in this phase, ironically, is his terror attack, where he holds his head up and screams for 10 seconds. His most dangerous attack is not one of his unblockable attacks, but the one you're seeing on screen right now, where he floats around weirdly with his sword and has 360-degree tracking and can make you go insane watching this happen to yourself. Ultimately, I barely beat this fight the first time I beat it, and this is because this is such a difficult boss that it took me probably 3 times of coming back to the boss after attempting it before I could actually beat it. So I had to progress 3 different times before I could come back and beat him. That tells you a lot. And any fight that I have to use Divine Grass on as well, as you saw there, is a tough fight. Number 22. You have Owl, also known as Father, also known as Padre. This man is, for a mid-game, he falls dead in the middle of the game. For the mid-game of this game, like for the mid-game setting, he is the hardest boss in the middle of a game I have ever seen. He is so dynamic in his movesets. He's big, he has long reach with his sword, much longer than yours in fact. He has the ability to block your healing with that bomb, which is his most dangerous attack, because then everything else that you do becomes worthless if you get hit. He has the smoke bomb in his second phase, where he dashes through and you have to jump over it. He has poison that he splashes on you, like a little kid playing with pool water, except he's in a sewer. He has, I'm trying to think of what else he has. There's so much that he has. He has combos out the ass. He has the ability to do that jump, and instead of charging through the poison, he does that, which is the most annoying thing, where he drains posture from his bar and makes the fight longer. He does that charge attack with the follow-up that can be annoying if you don't time it right. Otherwise, I mean, he's really hard, but once you get the hang of him, like, the only way I could beat him, I will be completely honest, the only way I beat him was by taking this fight slow, and this video Like, the footage you're seeing now is the last probably 2.5, maybe 1.5 minutes of a 10.5 minute attempt to kill him. That's how long it took me. It's an endurance fight, mainly. Like, it is super endurance. You just need to see who can play it perfect for longer. As you can see here, I kind of rushed the ending of the fight because I was poisoned and I had no more healing, so, like, had to end it or else I'd die and I wouldn't have been happy. But yeah, that's how he dies, a sword through the back. He's still proud of you, though. Even when you kill him. Like a good father figure. Heartwarming. Number 23, and almost a clone of the Guardian Ape fight for Why I Hate It, except different because, as I state in the description, I don't put duplicate bosses for every other boss except this encounter. There are no double headless encounters, there's nothing like that. No, this fight is different enough and difficult enough that it deserves its own spot on the list. This fight is the same phase as Phase 2 from the original Guardian Ape fight, which is already annoying. And then the second phase adds the exact moveset from Phase 1, as well as Phase 2, still going on. So you're fighting both phases at once. It's the best of both worlds for the player. The way I did this was using the Lazulite Shuriken. I had enough DPS to chunk down the physical damage ape, like the fist-using one who doesn't do terror. And then once I killed that one, I was able to focus on the Phase 2 version of the boss. And I cannot stress this enough, Divine Confetti on the Headless Ape is God. Like, it makes... Look at this. Look at the damage. That's 7 to 10% damage per hit right there. I will be using Divine Confetti mainly for Guardian Ape Phase 2s forever now. Like, Divine Confetti's pretty rare, it doesn't matter. Like, this is worth it. Look at the speed that you drain this Phase 2 health on. It's dead. 5 hits, 6 hits in a row, that's all it took. I will say that I don't know if you have a choice at the end of this fight, because I didn't try it the other way, but make sure that you do follow up with the final blow with the Mortal Blade to kill the centipede in the body, because otherwise, for all we know, the ape could come back a third time, which no one needs or wants. But yeah, it gives you 2 prayer beads and an attack boost, which is always nice. And absolutely useful, especially for late game. Alright, so number 25, the Demon of Hatred. The big issue with this fight is that it is a Dark Souls boss in a game that is not meant for Dark Souls bosses, and therefore you're only seeing Phase 3 of this fight because the entire fight I think took me 10 minutes on video. I can upload that, the whole fight later too. But his charge attack is deadly, does about 80% of your health, and that really hurts, of course. But it doesn't hurt as much as, like, when you get the boss to 0 health in his 3rd phase with a shuriken and he insta-kills you with a fireball, which happened before this attempt. Which was really nice, and believe me, I was happy. But at least I knew I could complete the boss, and that gave me hope. And then the attempt after, bam. But yeah, he has a variety of attacks. He has stomps. The thing that makes him so difficult is that he has very little tells as to what chain of attack he's going to do, except for that charge attack where it shows the red mark. Like, he'll do a chain of 3 stomps sometimes. Sometimes he'll do a stomp, swipe, stomp, swipe, swipe. A 5 chain, and I'm like, oh, nice, nice, nice. I'm glad that I have never seen that attack before, but you decided to do it to ruin this run. I mean, that was something that really, I was just such a big fan of when it happened to me the first time that I almost quit the game then and there for the night. But I was like, nah, I gotta keep going. This fire line, I shouldn't have dodged there, but all you gotta do is jump out of it. Like, I'm not saying I shouldn't have dodged it because, like, I didn't want to dodge it. I'm saying, like, the game should not have given me that dodge because, like, this is a fair dodge. Like, I was out of it when it hit, and I grappled to the boss, and that's how the mechanics are supposed to go. I got lucky, is what I'm saying. Another attack is this AoE, just gotta jump away from him and then grapple to him, and then the fight's over. Fun fact about this boss, it's the sculptor! Yeah, who the fuck knew that, huh? I am so surprised when I put 2 and 2 together that I didn't find it sooner. Like, that surprises me. I'm like, because like they're like, oh, you should know who this is. It's the only other one-armed person in the game who suddenly disappeared from the dilapidated temple. And I'm like, oh, the sculptor, duh. What the fuck am I doing? But yeah, so that's the Demon of Hatred. Number 26! This is going to be a combined commentary for number 24, which I didn't get to talk about, and number 26, because this phase that you're watching right now is exactly what number 24 is, except that's number 24's whole fight and that's it. It's just the second phase of number 24, when Ishin comes out, it just adds fire to his attacks. And the first boss of that is Emma. But this encounter that you're watching right now, and the hardest fight in the game, without a question, without a doubt in my mind, it's actually probably the hardest boss fight in any video game or FromSoft game, period, besides Mike Tyson's Punch-Out fighting Mike Tyson. You're seeing very bad mechanics on screen, but like that's just because I wasn't used to the boss when I got this footage. The problem with this boss is he has the most movesets I've ever seen. He's brilliantly scripted. He's my favorite boss in any game ever. He is not unbalanced either. Like, that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh no, he's a bullshit boss. No, he's fair. Like, if you have the skill to beat him, you'll beat him, no problem. It's getting to know his moveset that drives people away, because he has such a diverse moveset. Specifically speaking, that double slash can go 2 ways. If you give him the range, he'll follow you and use it. If you don't give him the range, he'll do that you just saw there. The first boss of this 4-phase Cancer Fest is 3rd phase Genichiro with the lightning attacks, except instead of lightning he uses the Black Mortal Blade flame attacks, which is so much fun. And he still uses his bow, which I fucking hate. Who doesn't love some arrows in the face as you're recovering from a knockdown? But I digress. That's part of the reason why I got so good at fighting Genichiro. This fight, I can confidently say, made me better at the game, than any other fight in the game, without a question. Like, when I tell you that this fight seasoned me to, like, be like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, there is no fucking chance anything's more difficult than this in anything ever. Like, I am confident in that statement. This, like, you gotta just know when to Mikri, you gotta know when to perfectly deflect. His 3rd phase incorporates lightning attacks that you can lightning reversal, I suppose, making the fight easier, but like they're tough, and some of them hit either way and you get shocked and killed. I mean, he does his leaping spear jump, he does this is what I mean fair. That's an attack that if you dodge, or if you would dodge, you'd get insta-killed. This game gives you the opportunity to perfectly deflect it. Like, no other game gives you that much forgiving, like, balance in the game, where, like, if you have the skill, you can do it. But this fight, this attempt that you're watching is not the kill attempt, as you probably have guessed by now. I lost the footage for the kill attempt, just like I lost the footage for the other Ishin encounter, because I am bad and unprofessional, so I apologize to the viewers for that. But I posted the trophy screenshots specifically to show that I did end up beating this fight, and the other one. So, thank you all for watching, I appreciate all the viewers. There's my Twitter, make sure to like and subscribe.